Hey, real quick, Kinger. I was on the lawn tractor right before game one. Nothing to do. Bored. Needed something in my cup holder. Didn't have it. Went inside. Paced around the kitchen. I needed some type of snack for the TV tray. And it dawned on me. I made a huge mistake. I was trying to kill time before I hit the lawn tractor. I should have gone to Cub.
You should have.
Because they would have been able to take care of all my needs there. I'd have been able to get to the liquor store, buy myself something that fits nice in the cup holder for the lawn tractor. Everybody knows if you have a tractor, you have to have something in your cup holder. If not, that's a fine in the neighborhood. It is. Plus, they got snacks. It was hard for me watching those games. Usually, Gorgie can attest. We are in the press box, there's a snack, each intermission, walk past it, grab a little bit. I wasn't prepared, and I need to be more prepared. So I'm going to maybe go get some Bugles or some Ruffle chips. I'm a big top the tater guy this time of year. A nice little dip. Swing by the deli section, maybe get fancy, some prosciutto. But the kids, they like it's simple. It's just going to be probably like salami and cheese on the tray. It's going to be good, little pseudo charcuterie board, if you will. So I like going to Cub because I like to be happy, and when I go there, I am happy. So shop happy, shop Cub, Kinger.
That was a great read. Mixing the Mediterranean diet with Bugles. I don't think that's ever happened in a live read. All right, golf. Let's talk golf. We don't want to be playing golf for a long time if we're the Minnesota Wild, but watching golf, that's a different deal. We got the 3M Open at TPC July 23rd through July 26th. So right around the 4th of July, I want you to be thinking about making your plans for this. Gorgie tells me Scheffler's coming. He says it's confirmed. They told us not to talk a lot about players, but by the way, if that is happening,
when you cite your sources.
That's from Kevin Gorg. But that is amazing. So you need to go now. If you weren't going to go before, you need to go. Tickets are at 3mopen.com. If you got kids under 15, it's free. In the sun, post up on a par 3, all good. Bring the boys. Meet someone, whatever's going to happen. Go to the 3M Open, July 23rd through the 26th in Blaine. As always, our guests are sponsored by Duke Cannon. Earn your clean. Head over to a Target, get some body wash, some shampoos, all the hair products. Make your hair a weapon. Go to dukecannon.com.
This is Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast. Did you guys see this? This is unbelievable. What is that all about, Kinger?
Get in here for the real thing. Like, let's get weird.
Maybe I blacked out trying to figure out what was going on.
Doubt, worry, fear, because that's what we're breaking the mold on here.
Welcome to Wild on 7th, presented by Pilot Games. We're here until it's here.
Frustrating game. I thought Minnesota played a lot better than the score is going to indicate it here at the end of the game. I thought there was not a lot of puck luck. I'm not making excuses. Colorado has such a good team. Penalty kill certainly is something that's got to adjust here. But, man, there was a lot of zone time those last two periods.
Yeah, there was. And a little soft launch to Wild on 7th post-game review, Game 2. Cinco de Mayo here, we were pretty stoked. We thought it was going to be Cinco de Midzi. We had $5 on him scoring the first goal, 505 winner. The stars were aligning, weren't they, Kinger? And then all of a sudden, it went in a different direction fast. But let's get the business out of the way here. We're brought to you today by our friends at Pilot Games. Again, hey, when you're out, you're watching these games, grab one of their tablets, win a little extra money. A little money goes to the community. You have some fun while you're doing it. So make sure you support the podcast. Grab one of those tablets. Appreciate that support. The game, the Wild had good energy. I thought in Game 1, Colorado skating was an issue a little bit. They were fast. They were able to kind of dictate style and pace of play. Today, I thought for chunks of the game, Minnesota was able to, at least later in the game, kind of control it. Colorado at one point, I think they were down shots 16-15. Next time we looked, it was like 26-17 in favor of the Wild. So they were able to play with the puck in the offensive zone. It's still, I think, been a struggle for the skill guys to find open ice in the slot. So there have been pucks laying around in the slot. And we'll get to the goaltender and that decision and what that was like, and maybe some other stuff on the back end or something. But offensively, Colorado's going to get they're going to get 3. Don't you think in this playoff they're going to get 3?
Hard to keep them under 3 for sure. And, I'll give Wedgwood credit. I don't know how much on some of those big saves he actually knew the puck hit him, but he made 2 or 3 really good saves. The one on the batting out of the air was it Yurov that batted it out of the air in the slot.
Yeah.
Heck of a save there. The save on Kaprizov on the back door. He was awful in game 1, and he had a great rebound game. He played well. And, for Gus, listen, we're going to get into it, but he figured to be rusty early, and he was. But I'll give him credit. I thought 2 of the first 3 goals were goals he'd want to have back. After that, he actually made some really good saves and bought the team some time. In the end, when you're chasing the game, you can't take penalties, Kinger, and those penalties, the back half of the game cost Minnesota any chance of rallying.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not even a series yet, right? It hasn't started. I guess my frustration is, and ESPN did say this, we've been caught in no man's land. The penalty kill's been struggling, so we can't play super physical. We've been chasing games. I just think, hey, man, Saturday. This team has shown us already that they are different than what we've been experiencing here for the last decade. And I just think we have to bring everything on Saturday and just empty the tank. Because tonight was when Nathan McKinnon is the guy with the 2 hits, you remember, from the game.
That's a problem.
That's not even the playoffs. Like, I don't even want to watch that. That's not – we have to dictate, and we have to really level this thing up and change it. I thought 97 was great tonight.
Early he was.
Well, he was visible, right? And he was running around, and he got that goal 6 seconds later, and that kind of was a nice thing to kind of settle everything down for a second. But, yeah, tough start. Really getting in that 2-goal hole, and then I thought they played pretty well, really second and third, but
They played fine. They couldn't jump on their chances. There were pucks in the slot, but the guys that got them were probably the wrong guys. And then there were other times where it just wouldn't find the tape. Like there was one Zuccarello, nice tip. He goes to play it. Stick was broken. Other chances were just, it seemed like it was there. It was just Colorado.
It felt like an uphill battle all night. And I'll give Colorado credit. They've done a really nice job with their pre-scout on Quinn Hughes. He took one big hit, but it wasn't just the big hit. It was the way they defended him. They've really not allowed him to take over shifts. When Minnesota be in the zone for 30, 40, 50 seconds, extended forecheck situation, and they normally, Hughes can break down those forwards, and normally he can get to open space. I think Colorado's done a really good job on 43. You guys mentioned it. Kaprizov had some pop, but for the most part, he and Boldy have had a hard time getting to the middle of the rink. They have kept them to the outside. Now, Kirill got the goal in transition, had a play on the back door. Other than that, though, one of those guys getting the puck in the slot, it's not happening.
I didn't like the way the game ended, too, because it was – I think the game officially ended when Nathan McKinnon cut off Matt Boldy, kind of hit him into the wall. Boldy's down laying on the ice. They had a good rush after that, but that to me, that's like a microcosm of the way the game went. McKinnon was feeling good. He had the power play goal, playing with the puck, lots of speed. Boldy, Kaprizov, those guys trying to find it on the wall, win their battles, but getting up looking frustrated with like their hair knocked down in their face. Like Kaprizov again too took a penalty, cross-checking penalty, frustration. Maybe that one was a killer too. Late in the third period, you're down a couple. We're like, that's not going to cut it. But I think to your point, Kinger, when it comes to dictate, that's what the Wild have to do to be good. After game one, we talked about how Bednar, kind of credited his bottom six and said that they're good, but we played different. It's a different playoff style of hockey than Minnesota's. They are built different. They were on home ice. They did have last change. But I think the Wild haven't been able to get to their identity. And, yeah, it was Messier talking about it a little bit, and it's true now. The penalty kill, it wasn't just Dallas's power play now. Now it's Colorado's power play. They get 2 more in this game, and they get one early in the game. That takes the physicality, I think, out of some of your players. So
Takes the edge away.
Yeah, and if your calling card and your identity is to be physical, to be heavy, and that's going to be your competitive advantage against a fast, skilled Colorado team that wants to play with the puck and will play with the puck and put it to the middle of the ice. But in order to do that, you got to be physical on the perimeter, on the walls, and make them make plays in the middle, then beat them up the ice. But right now, I think the Wild's bottom six are doing what they can, but they have to be careful because they can't go to the box. And with that, we saw hits being finished. And then I think the next thing that they now need, and it was great, we talked about it at length in the first series against Dallas, is what they had was a good forechecker one, and then a good second guy. Right now, we're just seeing Trennian, Foligno brothers go finish somebody, and then it's Colorado breakout. It's like, there's a hit, because we're counting hits in here. We're like, hey, pummel the powder. That's the ticket. They're fast. You got to slow them down. Stay on the right side. Hit them. And we see the hit, and we're like, that's the hit. And then it's Colorado breaking out. They need that next guy there. Or, I don't know how else they combat the speed of the Avs right now.
Well, you're going to have to clog up the neutral zone. You can do that. There's a way to slow them down. But the physical play, to Kinger's point, you're going to have to feed off a crowd on a Saturday night in St. Paul that's going to be licking their chops. The series doesn't really start until Minnesota swings back. Colorado is
lose a game on home ice.
Well, that's fine. That's a cliche. I get it. But this series is over if Minnesota doesn't win both games at home, in my opinion. They have to win both games to get back to 2-2. And they've got to draw on the magic from 2014. Exact same scenario. 2 games got away where Minnesota could have won both those games in 14. Both those games, McKinnon was a rookie. He was such a difference maker. They were aorta smashers. You left Colorado so frustrated because both games were winnable and you're down 0-2. And this wasn't quite as dramatic. In both those games, Colorado came back in those games. Granlund scored the overtime winner in Game 3. Minnesota fed off that win, equaled the series at Game 4, and eventually it got to Game 7 where the Wild were able to win the series. You've always wanted this series, guys, to go 6 or 7 games. The longer it goes, the better the chances for the underdog, the better the chances for the team that is going to be more physical on home ice. It's not over. Saturday night is everything.
We have to be physical.
Have to.
I mean, playoff hockey is all about hate. We just lost to a goalie. They were chanting Wedgie in Ball Arena. He has puppy dogs painted on
Wedgie.
That's a true thing. Wedgie in Ball Arena.
Puppy power.
He has puppy power on his mask. Nathan McKinnon is trying to turn into a checker. I mean, we have to. There's nothing worse than being caught in the in-between phase with your hair. Awful. Yeah, you're growing it out. You're stuck in the in-between. That's what our identity is right now. Are we gonna play super skill? Are we gonna play super structure? Are we gonna bring the violence and the scumbag? I have to say, just personal taste. I want absolute mayhem. I don't know. I mean, the penalty kill is struggling.
It's got to be controlled mayhem.
But I need a lot more yelling from the bench.
Yes.
I need a lot more.
We need Hartsey on the ice.
If you're gonna lose and you're gonna lose like that, you might as well make it count. I think that's what you were saying down the stretch.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I always watch hockey games, even when they're over. So say it's 4-0, regular season, 4-0, 9 minutes left. I'm like, I rub my hands like, okay.
Now let's see.
Now we're going to see who hates losing. Now we're going to see who is going to try to get a guy because the game's kind of over and he maybe remembers a number from earlier. So I just want, no matter how this series turns out, and I do believe in this team, but I want to leave a mark on Colorado. And I think that Saturday night is that opportunity to do that.
Because they've done that so far. The hard thing for me is the big hits in this series have all gone the other way, which I did not see coming. And McKinnon is doing his best Gordie Howe imitation out there. He's doing it all with and without the puck, and he's a competitor, and he's a heck of a player, but there has to be an answer. To your point, that's a guy you got to at some point line up on Saturday and knock him on his backside and get that crowd into the game. You're right. There needs to be more venom, and maybe if Eck is able to return, that starts that process because you are missing something with 14 on the shelf right now.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Need a little bit more hate, need a little bit of that stuff. The other details of the game need to be there. The penalty kill, playing with confidence. I think Colorado's got them thinking a little bit too. That's obviously become a problem. I disagree with you a little bit, Gorgie, in this sense, just in that I don't think they need to win both games here at home. I think they for sure have to win 3. So if you win game 3, it's 2-1. Then there's a little bit pressure on Colorado. Like,
you think you can come down? You're going three in a row against this team.
No, but I think that's possible. I don't think they absolutely have to. I think you go back to when was that? 2003, where they were down 3-1, ripped off 3 in a row.
Whole series.
Down 3-1,
Yeah.
ripped off 3 in a row. So it entirely is possible.
Fair.
So I'm not going to say that they have to win both, but they
Doesn't feel that way to me, though.
They do have to win game 3.
There you go.
So game 3 is a must win. You go down 3-0 psychologically, and even physically, like in reality, it's you're not going to rip off 4 in a row.
Kinger, Saturday night, what's the tell early? Like in the first 10 minutes for you, what do you need to see?
Well, I think there's going to be a block party, right? I think they're closing parts of the streets down. This is the thing.
Yeah, let's pump this right now because we need this.
We've talked about on the podcast for years, right? Every other town's playing hockey in shorts, and they cut to outside, and there's a big television, and people are open container walking around, watching it outside. They jump around when they score.
And it's going to be 70-something degrees, right?
75 degrees, right? 80 degrees. I don't know. Come down. And, I mean, this is Mad Max. I mean, this is like...
Wear your ski boots.
Thunderdome.
I actually think I am going to wear ski boots because at this point, we need to have strategies against the Avalanche. And I can't think of a better feeling than having a couple of ski boots on and having a couple cocktails and going. Let's talk goaltending, okay? So this big choice. Big move, right? Starting Gus.
I think you said what the worst thing to be is caught in between. And I think with the goaltending choice, what they were on that decision is on some level caught in between who to go with, like which guy to go with.
Well, and I think John Hines said it after morning skate before game 2 that if you have 2 guys that have made big contributions all year long and you lose a game 9-6 with an empty net goal, if not then, when? And in his eyes, and again, these coaches are right there with it, and we're not right now. Kurtz and I specifically have the FOMO thing going, spending a whole year traveling with the team. You feel so plugged in to those conversations. We get private conversations with the bench boss, but he mentioned 7 straight playoff games, plus the last game in the regular season for the youngster, and the coaching staff sensed some fatigue from Volstead. So now the reset comes. Gus rallied after a tough start. We're not going to candy coat it here. He was pretty darn good the second half of that game, but I assume they're going to come back with the youngster on Saturday, and they're going to empty the tank to Kinger's point and try to get that crowd into the game. The nastiness we saw late, Minnesota's leaving this rink a frustrated bunch, and I think that's a good thing.
Well, so back to the goalie. I thought it's a tough choice, and I've said this countless times. If you have 2 goalies, I think you really don't have one. It becomes terribly hard for the coach to pick the right guy at the right time throughout an entire playoff series. And I see, and I don't know that we're going to get the real answer, but I see why you go with Gustafsson. I understand. You have a guy that gives up 6, 7 goals, and you're like, hey, some of those are stoppable. I have to hold myself to my own words and be accountable. We say we have 2 goaltenders. Some of those were gettable. We didn't win that game. I have to give my other guy a shot. Otherwise, I might lose the room on a different level, too.
And he's a veteran.
Yeah.
And that's part of the decision, too. Yeah, you got to give him a chance.
And he's been good. But that's where it's hard because now Gustafsson hasn't played a meaningful game since Nashville? And I don't even know if that one was meaningful because they had pulled guys from that game. So he hadn't played in a long time. And then we got a FaceTime from our buddy Al Stalock, and he's like, it's really hard. You just can't simulate game speed.
He's right.
Yeah, you can't. And Gustafsson has been practicing. He's seen a lot of shots. And he's been working, and he's been hungry for this moment. And I think Hines has said that. He said he's hungry for the moment. And player is. I guarantee you he was. He's chomping at the bit. But the reality is, and any pro knows this, you can't simulate game speed, like game reads in a practice rink. and it doesn't matter what position you play. Like Brodin's one of the only guys I know that can jump into a game, whether it be regular season.
It's
playoffs,
bizarre how you can do that.
and just pick up where he left off. I think Nate Prosser was that way too a little bit. But aside from those guys, everybody else needs a couple of games to get up to speed, to like get the feeling, get the timing, get the mojo back. So I thought it's a tough choice, and I see both sides, but I also feel like now you put the pressure on yourself as a coach, because you're like, well, you got to get this right. Otherwise, you go down 0-2, and then what? You're going to go back to Minnesota and go back to the young guy, and which is likely what's going to happen, And it's just tough to hit a home run on that one right away.
Yeah, I got the breathe right just threw me the second.
Gus wearing the breathe right.
I'm not
got you off kilter.
I'm not a player. I don't pretend to be. I love Gus. But like when I saw the breathe right, and he doesn't normally wear that, correct?
No.
I have not seen him with it on. Maybe he was.
I mean, that's like seeing a
Congested.
goalie with a different cage.
Yeah,
When he hasn't played in a while, he comes out.
Yeah.
He's just got a different headset on. He's got the different. He's going with the whatever the Detroit guy Osgood. Like you're like
Like we've seen a goalie that
that's troubling.
makes
like
a bunch
you
of
were
skill and
worried.
saves with the glove. He comes out after the intermission with a new glove. It's like it's not.
Well, you were worried when Kirill changed the tape on his stick. He's wearing a breathe right on his face, man. That was like I couldn't. That just gave me all the bad feelings that Minnesota sports fans have. I know it has nothing to do with the game, but I don't know. The reason I could get my head around it was just like you said, two goalies. They've both been good all year. We're playing for 16 W's, right? This is a long game. If you play that out in your head, Gus is probably going to play in that equation if you're going to go win the cup, right? So, yeah, like you said, I think he gave up 8, actually. Now would be a pretty good time to try him out. And, it just was a little bit of a slow start. And,
Well, that's what I think. That's
we
what
were
got it.
chasing those
It could
two
have gone
goals.
Could have
the
gone a
whole
different
time.
way, but when the first shot, Gus feels the pressure. He knows the pressure. That's the other part when it comes to him being the guy now for game 2, round 2. You lose a game. Some ways the time to put him in is if you win game 1, go to him. Like don't.
What a luxury that would. If you would have come back and won
don't
like
put the-
8-7.
Yeah, don't put the pressure.
What a luxury that would have been.
Don't put the pressure on him, but he feels the pressure.
For sure.
And he hears the narrative. They know.
That's
as
tough.
As a pro, Like you open your phone, and all of a sudden the first one comes through, gets through him, boom, and barely hits the back of the net, and it's like, oh no, that's an awful start for Gustafsson.
Tough.
I thought he rebounded fine. He could have probably had the woggle, but
Back half of the game, he was good. So were the Wild. Like, listen, Minnesota did a lot of things well in this hockey game. It's going to get lost in the negativity, and unfortunately, we live in a world where social media, the writers, like, there's going to be gloom and doom all over this town. If you look at the hockey games they put out there, they could have won either one of these games. Now, it wasn't perfect, and the penalty kill is an issue that needs to be rectified. But I saw some good things, and I'm going to start with the most positive thing I saw in the game, and that's the other youngster that doesn't get talked about enough. Danila Yurov was really good in this hockey game.
He was.
And I'm telling you, this kid is giving me the feeling of a young Joel Eriksson-Ek. Now, a little different player.
I think a little more offense. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I loved his game tonight.
Yeah, his game was good, I thought, too. Good on the forecheck, made plays. He was noticeable. The other guy I thought was good was 90. Johansson had a couple of chances. He had a tip in the high slot that could have gone early in the game.
Yeah.
I think the pad of Wedgwood. He ended up getting the goal, too, the 4-2 goal. I thought he was good. And aside from those two guys, though, up front, like that's part of the other problem. Who stood out?
Kirill, the first half was flying.
Kirill, the first half, and we were saying it in here, like he's going.
He was really going.
Yeah, got the goal, but from that
Second half, he was quiet.
yeah, he couldn't get it going.
And
Couldn't
part of
wind up,
that
not
might
for lack
be-
of effort.
Part of that might be Colorado. I mean, they're a good skating team. They play a good positional game. Now they'll play offense first, and we've seen that. And there's turnovers that you can garner, but I think they've done a really good job on the Wild star players so far in these first 2 games.
Part of the reason the Wild maybe looked good that first 20, Kaprizov and those guys too, is they were able to force Colorado into some turnovers. I think the turnovers were 9-3 Colorado in that first period. So whatever the Wild were doing, despite the fact they were chasing the game at that point, they were making Colorado miss. And I don't know what they finished. I'll take a look now, but the game, I don't know that it finished that way in terms of their puck management, because Colorado, I think, got a little safer with the puck too, started to flip it out a little bit, and were more inclined to just dump it in the neutral zone versus have to make a couple of passes for the breakout and try to use their speed. But their speed was, again, for me, a factor. The other point we got to bring up that just flat out needs to be better if the Wild are going to win this series is the starts to periods. So you can't be chasing these games and these periods. So you go down 1-0 early. Obviously, that one kills. Great response from Kaprizov. Seconds later to tie it up. It's like, all right, life vest, thrown, captured. You're there. Then all of a sudden, second period starts. Boom, first couple minutes again, trailing again. Like they've got to find a way. And I don't know that there's anything they're doing, but
Have to answer the bell.
yeah, you just can't give them up at the bookends of periods. Like it just kills you.
The thing is, I'm not terrified of Colorado. I've watched these games. I really think let's get home. Let's get some more structure.
Let's hope everybody's healthy.
And the other thing is, if we're going to have 6 heavies on our bottom 6, and they're going to play water bugs, well, that's the hand we have. So let's play it, right? Don't get caught in between.
Let's go for it.
Don't be saying excuse me and holding doors, right? Like break through them. Like at least play the hand you're dealt.
And we were celebrating because there were a couple of scrums, maybe even not enough out in front of Wedgwood. Like when we saw a couple of face washes, and so Boldy, let's just take a look at this one where I think it was Kelly gave Boldy the left jab, Boldy goes down, right? And I understand Boldy's looking for a power play there, and good play.
He did get him on the button, even though, he
got him on the button. But what I'm saying, I think the Wild need is to be the guy getting Colorado on the button. They're the group that needs to be getting away with one right there. They're the ones that need to be dictating, and it needs to be, and it would be. But again, this is where the penalty kill gets them. That's how you can do it. I think they can get in Colorado's head doing it, but all of a sudden you take that ability away from Marcus Foligno, Michael McCarron. Did you see them engage in some of those? They couldn't tonight because they can't afford to go to the penalty box. And the guys that took penalties tonight, stick penalties from frustrated skill guys that don't have the puck. It was Kaprizov, Zuccarello, who was the other one? Hartman ended up getting one. So it's just Colorado's making Minnesota play their game in so many areas, and the Wild just aren't doing enough to be able to do their thing. And that's after the whistle, between the whistle, on the forecheck, second guy. Sound like a broken record. We keep talking about it, but you start looking at all these little plays, like McKinnon hit on Quinn Hughes. Those are the kinds of plays that stick in your head. Like, you need somebody to plaster Nathan McKinnon, stand over him. That is what the playoffs are about. You have to think about Scott Stevens. Why is he a playoff guy? Because the dude took the head off Paul Correa. Like those.
And Eric Lindros.
Yeah, and Lindros. Like
open ice. It was 3-1 Philadelphia. Playing in the Spectrum in Philly. Open ice hit early in the game on Lindros. Knocks him out of the game. Devils come back and win it in 7. You need, at some point, Jake Middleton, Petrie, Bogosian, if he comes back, open ice hit, head down. You gotta start, to Kinger's point, you gotta play the cards you're dealt here. You're the bigger, more physical team. I understand they're quick. I understand the quick teams are harder to hit, but they've got to do more. I want more scrums. I want more talking back and forth. You've got to get Colorado uncomfortable. They were looking like they were having a pretty good time in both games. A lot of smiles, a lot of laughing. I would run that back. If I'm a coach, I would run that back and show them at the end of the game how much fun they're having, because you've got to make them uncomfortable.
Here's a guy laughing, hugging his goalie with puppies painted on it. How does that make you feel, right? So even just chatter.
Yeah.
Right? Like just the tone on Saturday night. If you were between the benches, I want you to have to wear earmuffs. Like I want
so much fun.
I want chatter. We
got to unleash Hearts. And Hartsy's got to come back. I want
Hartsy to be Hartsy. I want edge. I'm not saying stupid.
Nope.
I'm not
get
saying
in there
a
and
bunch of
give
penalties.
them the business.
But I want this to feel extremely uncomfortable, because it's funny. Even watching that game, guys, I was more nervous one of our skill guys was going to get knocked out in the last 2 minutes when we were chasing the game than I was anybody on our team getting one of their guys.
I agree.
Which is very odd. I mean, they got a bunch of burners, right? They're not built for hard and heavy, right? There's no house cats in the jungle in the playoffs, and we have the lineup to just be absolutely an miserable team to play against, and we're really just caught in between right now.
And let's just go through this because it is interesting.
Did I win any of those bets?
Yeah, so the prize picks, no. I don't know if you won it, but let's go through your prize picks just on physicality.
Why I bet those? That's the game I wanted to watch tonight.
Yeah,
I didn't get to watch it. These
Think
are
of wishful
all
thinking.
over.
So he went over on hits 5.5 on Trenyon, 5.5 or 3 on Nick Foligno, 2.5 on McCarron, 4.5 on Marcus Foligno, and 2.5
On Landis, I think Landeskog is tough.
Landeskog's the only guy that you hit on. The only other guy that tied, actually, everybody else missed.
That's deeply upsetting to me.
Everybody else missed.
Yeah, see, that's just not.
Bad
So
sign.
of the prize picks, and they're running their algorithm,
Yep,
only Landeskog hit the over on hits.
yep.
And you had Foligno, McCarron, Foligno, Trenton. I'm not putting this on those guys. I'm putting it on the style of play, and I'm putting
You're
it on,
down in the game.
I'm putting it on the penalty kill.
You're
right now.
down in the game.
Put it on
And
the penalty.
Colorado also pretty elusive. I mean, they're quick. You've talked about it, Carts. They're like water bugs back there.
Well, and
they're not sitting ducks. They're moving.
Yeah, and their offensive ability makes you have to respect.
You can't play as aggressive on the forecheck because if you go in there with your hair on fire and you get beat, they're going to go the other way with numbers, and you're going to be in trouble.
And that's maybe part of the reason why forward number 2 is a little cautious, not quite there to create that loose puck and then get things going and more ozone time for sure. Hey, Cinco de Mayo, good day. I mean, this is
Wonderful
great feast.
spread, you guys. Great job. I really appreciate it.
Street tacos, El Pastor, chicken, beef. Where do we rate the best?
The beef was by far the best.
Really?
How about the
I didn't-
chips, though? I'm going
I
to tell you,
didn't
the
get
chips with the guac and the salsas they brought. I mean, I'm telling you.
This is called Boca Chica.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Where's
free
Boca
ads.
Chica?
St. Paul, right?
Yeah, across the river.
Yeah, they did a great job. I was hoping for Cinco de Midzi. Had a lot of.
Yeah, you
action
brought the
on five.
Midzi card out, number 5 on the
With a
fifth.
$5 bill.
Yeah, I actually paid $5 for that card. Jake would
Great
love it.
card.
But I.
Shoot.
Yeah, man, Saturday night. So, like, this team has shown us they're different. They got through the first round, all that baggage we've been carrying around.
And they are not afraid to go down in a game or a series and fight. You'll never have more pressure than you had in that first round in game 4. And they really showed in that particular game just the type of guts they have. So that's going to help them in this situation. I'm with Carts. I don't like going down 3-1, but if they can at least get the win Saturday, it changes
Yeah, let's
the
take
tone
the
of-
one at a time. And
one at a time.
I know.
One at a time.
I know.
Hey,
I know.
Yeah, so one at a time. We're gonna take one party at a time. We put Cinco de Mayo behind us, but we do want to talk a minute about Saturday afternoon because we are the state of hockey. We get mocked for being the state of hockey. A lot of people like
Called us frauds.
It's the fraud squad.
Unbelievable.
We have an opportunity on a real nice day now, Saturday. The building's going to be full. There's no doubt about that. But when we're watching these games and you see shots go to the visiting team or the home team's outdoor crowd, if this is the state of hockey, we need it jammed out there.
Yeah, you don't want it to look like Ottawa where they had like the 16 people behind the fence in someone's yard. This needs to look like
This is set up perfect.
This
a
needs to
7
look
o'clock
like
game.
Toronto. It
It's
needs
a
to look
7
like
o'clock
Toronto.
game on a Saturday with tremendous weather.
Like
They're
bad
shutting down
sunburn.
7th Street between gates.
I want cargo
1
shorts and
3,
jerseys
I
as
think.
far as I can see.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I want.
There's going to be a huge screen there. They're going to watch. We're going to be talking. We're going to have some bits for the podcast, guys. We're going to be stirring it up a little bit. Pummel the powder, whatever else we got going on for that day. So make sure you join us for that party.
Come out early.
It's going to be a good time. Yeah. I don't know what time it starts. Probably 4.
We'll put it on the socials.
It start at 5.
5 o'clock.
4 or 5,
socials.
whatever it takes.
Yeah, come join us. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have fun. Help root on the Wild and prove to everybody that this is the state of hockey. And you know what? We actually can show up in shorts. Okay?
Yeah.
Got out of the first round, 70 degrees. Wear shorts, ski boots, maybe some goggles. Bring some ski goggles. We'll spray shot skis, whatever it is. We'll find a way.
I think the boots would be really fun.
Kinger, if you walk in that building with ski boots, you're going to be my all-time hero.
Actually, that concrete will be dicey, but maybe outside at the block.
Nah, I want you in the building with those ski boots.
But I mean, this team, I think their body language will be fine. I think when they interview them post game, these guys they have eyes on the prize. Don't get too high, don't get too low. They just played the best team in the league at home. They lost 2 games to them at home. Now they're going back to their building. They've got more information about them. You know,
I've got an idea for Let's Play Hockey.
Oh, share it.
So I was in the building as a fan in 03, and Minnesota had fallen down 3-1 in that series. They were trying to force a Game 7. They're down 3-2 after winning in Denver. Richard Park, part of the Wild organization right now, scored an overtime winner on Patrick Waugh that set the table for what Andrew Brunette and the Wild did in Game 7. Ironically, a team that was a big underdog. Colorado was the Cup favorite, like they are this year. Minnesota in that series rotated Fernandez and Rolison to perfection. I want Richard Park on that stage. I want to see that goal on the Jumbotron as Adam Abrams, our PA announcer, is throwing it down to Richard Park. That puck goes in. He whips him into a frenzy. That first shift, we go out and we run. And I mean run them through the wall, get the crowd into the game, get this thing going.
I was at that game too. That was a good one.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, it's short memory here. Like I sometimes a cliche is good when you're in one.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's not a series until someone loses at home, well, we got a chance on Saturday to defend our turf.
So I think if we're just looking at this from 30,000 feet, that a couple of things the Wild absolutely need to shore up over the next 3 days, and they do have plenty of time to hit the reset button. The power play needs to be better. The power play's got to deliver when they get an opportunity late in the game. They had a chance on the power, I think, down 2. It was 3-1 at that point in time. To put something in the net, make some noise, give yourself a chance. And I think the best that they were able to muster up was like a floater or something close to the glove of Wedgwood. And they need
to your point, Minnesota against Dallas was the better 5-on-5 team. That's not going to be the case in this series. Colorado is the better 5-on-5 team. You have to win the special teams. It's the exact opposite of what we saw in the Dallas series. Now, the power play got some looks.
Yeah.
They've got to cash in, and they've got to figure this thing out with the box, with the penalty kill. But if you're going to win that game Saturday, if you're going to get back in this series, you've got to flip the special team script.
Yeah, your power play needs to be better. And I think that for the game script that Game 2 brought them, I thought the power play in the third period just needed a little bit more urgency. And I think I see urgency on puck battles and trying to keep it alive. I don't see urgency once they have possession of it. Then they're comfortable high up in the zone, throwing it back and forth and looking for the great shot. And we were sitting around these tacos, and as we were watching this live, I was like, you have to shoot. You have to shoot. And I know the fan base clamors like shoot, shoot, shoot all the time in the power play, but this group is a puck retrieval type of power play. They have to shoot the puck first. And I'll go back to San Jose when they had that great power play in the early 2010s. It was Dan Boyle and Joe Thornton. They had a rule that if they won a face-off, a puck was going to be delivered to the net within 4 seconds.
Wow.
They had the ability to make one pass, but a puck had to be delivered to the net. I think that's the kind of urgency that this power play needs. Like, make a pass, walk the line, send it over, whatever it is, shoot. Or bring it down low, tip to the net, crash. Like, just more to the net. They're so good at their puck retrievals and knowing their outs, but they're not using that strength because they're comfortable on the outside. Now, I hate to repeat myself, but they are doing a good job winning those battles once they get it to the wall, but then they lose that urgency once they get possession of it. So the power play has to be better from 30,000 feet. The penalty kill, no doubt. I mean, what else is there to say about it? They're struggling. They've struggled with the bumper. They were focused on it in Johnson in Dallas. Now Colorado's utilizing the same spot. Landeskog scores, and then McKinnon's in their second power play goal. McKinnon's sitting in that spot, and then he drifts off to the far side. He gets lost a little bit. One-timer, puck's in the back of the net, and that was a killer goal.
That was a tough.
That's the kind of goal that our power play needs to score. They were up 3-1. They get a power play, and boom, he buries that. Now the game's kind of put away. Wild answer. They get one 4-2, but it was never really in doubt because Colorado's power play delivered. So our PK needs to improve. They have to figure it out. I think they need to simplify. They're thinking too much on what they need to take away. I think they just need to stick with some structure, be aggressive, and then let it happen. And then the power play needs a little bit of urgency.
Get a reset. It's 3 days, right? Is it more than that?
That's 3 days.
3 full days.
An off day, 2 practice days. It's exactly what Minnesota might need.
And I would assume Wally's back in net. And if we know anything about this guy, can you imagine the conversation being like, you're experiencing fatigue? He'd be like, I am. He's probably sitting in the dark, and chewing on wood. I mean,
Kid wants to be out there so bad. Yeah.
This guy wants to be Henrik Lundqvist yesterday.
Yep.
Okay. And so why don't you show up on Saturday night and bring the wall to St. Paul? And I want blood coming out of ears from the sound of the crowd. I want to be, splashing bugs on the windshield. And just look ahead and go get it.
Yeah, I agree. And
it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a good game. Great atmosphere for sure. I think a couple more things. What do we think of the Hughes-Faber pair in this game? I thought they tried to get it going, but struggled to be able to.
Yeah, I thought Colorado never really allowed them to get to a decent spot with the way they like to pinch, the way they like to patrol the offensive zone. They were really forced to the outside. They were hit every time they made a play on the half wall on the attacking side. They made them retrieve pucks. I think Colorado's done some great work against the Wild star power. You look at Boldy, you look at Kaprizov, you look at Hughes, you look at Faber. They have made life difficult. And now it's time. It's a chess match where you have to react and you have to change what you're doing. And Minnesota now has the ball in their court. They have a couple of practice days. John Hines is nothing if not an excellent tactician. He's going to come up with a game plan. He's going to make some adjustments. I would look for some real wrinkles in that lineup on Saturday, regardless of whether Eck comes back or not. He's going to make some adjustments here.
Kinger, you mentioned this too through observation, just that Hughes was having a hard time finding the open ice that he did in game 1. Colorado, I think, did do a good job on that. But what do you feel about Hughes' game there?
Well, first of all, the McKinnon giant hit on Quinn Hughes was just shoving him down. So let's just settle down about all of this Colorado stuff for a minute. Quinn's gonna be fine. He's an absolute wizard. He'll figure it out. The one thing we talked about, Carts, that I'm intrigued by is he can do anything on skates, right? But if you were to look at his skate patterns, right, if you were to look at where he goes on the ice, you're going to see these 2 8s. There's an 8 down to the side on one side, and then he moves around. But it would be interesting to see if he completely unlocked, like you said. You said it watching the game. If I'm defending him, I don't expect him to go around the net.
Yeah, he's cutting back.
He's cutting back. And so at a certain point, Florida did this as well when we played them in the regular season. They had the skaters that could hang on him enough to just shove him in the middle of the chest. They did it a couple times at the blue line. And it's interesting because he can do anything skating-wise, so maybe a little less predictable, right? Go around the net. I mean, you can go wherever you want. You're Quinn Hughes. And if they're starting to game plan you, okay, you're going to go here, you're going to stop, you're going to come back here. So he'll be fine. I mean, that guy is a big game player, and lucky enough we have a big game on Saturday night.
I think what faces Hines in terms of a big challenge right now is you just dropped 2 games, and you're struggling to get to your game. And you have to change something. Like we're sitting here, we're in different spots. We're trying to change something, trying to change the energy, change the vibe. Hines does that, changes the lines up, does different things. I think he's got to find something he can change. And life is hard for Minnesota without Eriksson Ek, without Brodin. You start to really see.
Brodin's a big loss, man. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Just the stability that those guys bring. And we talk about it with each injury. Everybody slots up. You have to spread out responsibilities. So it's Hartman on the PP. It's somebody else on the PK. It's somebody slotted in between, Boldy and Johansson. So they're sharing the load. of what Eriksson Ek does, and they're doing it to the best that they can. But I think Hines might have to change something up. It might have to be
He's comfortable doing that. He's done it.
Yeah.
You know what? That's been his calling card. He has been unafraid to ruffle feathers, to shuffle the deck, and you give him a couple extra days with practice time here at Trio Rink. I got a feeling he's going to come up with something. Maybe he overloads that top line.
Yeah.
You know, you got last change now. You can dictate the matchups, which is a huge help when you're missing players like Jonas Brodin. He'll have some wrinkles here. I have confidence in John Hines and the adjustments he can make.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting because they in the series, I mean, they do have a bunch of goals, so it's not like they haven't been able to create offense. They were able to generate some or a good volume and
Well, I think if you told Hines before the first 2 games in Denver, you're going to score 8 in these 2 games, I think he would have felt pretty good and said, "Yeah, I'll take it."
He probably would have bet that they'd be up 2-0.
Yeah, now Bednar probably would have taken the 13, or now 14. Excuse me, there was another empty netter. But no, I mean 8 goals to your point, Carts, in a team that, you know, like Colorado, that prides themselves on how skilled they are, the puck possession, the 5-on-5 numbers, analytically, they're the best team in the league. We get it. Minnesota scored 8 goals on the road where Colorado can dictate the matchup, where their best guys without the puck defending have been all over our star players. Now Minnesota gets to dictate those matchups, those line combinations. Saturday is you can't put enough chips on the table. If you're playing poker and this is an all-in situation, this is everything for Minnesota in this series.
Boldy's played his way into this luxury too. I think he's been the best forward in the series for him. So now you have to start thinking, how do you help Matt Boldy? And you look at the
that guy tries hard.
Last 5 playoff wins, Matt Boldy has scored a goal. So if you're Hines, I think you're looking at it saying, this guy's kind of like he's a vibe driver for us a little bit. So how do you help him get to a spot where he can get on the board? Because when he scores too, he's the kind of guy where he now stands a couple inches taller. We saw Kaprizov get the early goal, and then he was flying. It faded the rest of the game, but Boldy's cut from a similar cloth. If he gets one, there's a good chance something else great is going to follow that. The hands turn on, then he's noticeable on the PK, he gets a knockdown, it's a shorty, it's something. So I think Hines has got to find a way to get him involved or get him some pucks in the slot and scoring areas a little bit better. Right now he's having to do the work on the perimeter, and that's the visual I have from that game is Boldy on the walls trying to win a battle, and it's not him using the hands and the skill in the slot area kind of thing. So and that might be on player too. Maybe players got to be there. But the challenge for Hines is changing things up, but not having it appear as though they're panicking. They're down 2-0. You've changed your goaltender. You go with Volstead. I do think changes probably need to occur on the back end too. Like figure something out there. I don't know if you break up Hughes' favor, like that's been good. You're at home, like now the offense is there, but the next set, the next 2 maybe aren't working great either. So you might have to change it up, but not have it appear as though you're panicking, and that's going to be the challenge.
Who was on Boldy's line tonight with JoJo?
It was JoJo Yurov.
Okay, well, because Yurov would be the one that, in theory, would play the most like Ek to the point. So,
well, and then if Ek comes back.
There's a possibility that those guys come back, and that's been talked about. We don't know yet if that's.
I don't think we're going to see Brodin in this series at all.
Thinking, if that's wishful thinking, or if they're legitimate chances. If they're legitimate chances, that changes absolutely everything.
Ek would change some things up front. I don't know who he'd take out because Yurov I think has played awfully well so far in this series. Kind of under the radar, but it'll be a good problem to have if Ek is able to practice here late in the week. They've got 2 good days together to make those adjustments. There's a lot of reasons to believe that Saturday could go a different way in this series, and Minnesota can get back in this.
Hear me out if we're playing devil's advocate here. So what Hines has said he has, and it's a luxury to have, is the depth that he has now and quality of it, and how he can almost change the complexion of his bottom 6 with some of these personnel changes. So if Colorado is in a team that's outskating you, kind of outskilling you right now, and that's why they're getting some of their chances. Do you put in a Fabry? Do you put in a Brink? Do you put in some of these guys that say, all right, if they're going to dictate terms and pace and play, and we can't get
Hunter
to our
Haight.
game, yeah, these guys, do you do something like that? He has those options. Don't know that he'll make that choice, but there is the ability to put NHL caliber players in your bottom
speedy
six
players
that will look much different and play a little bit more like the Colorado Avalanche play. And then you're like, let's go toe to toe. Let's see if we can beat you at your game. I don't think that that's necessarily like the right play.
But he's got some options.
He's got options there. He has the ability to do that.
Yeah, you can. I mean, that's one of the ways to go. I'd like to see about 50 hits on Saturday.
You want blood, Kinger. You're all fired up.
I just
love it.
think if I had to bet on a stat, I totally hear you. Okay, their bottom six is built for speed. We're built for meat, right? So maybe we change that, right? I just think if we're putting everything through the wall, easier said than done. Very fast team, get the puck out quick. I understand all that stuff, but if you get into a game where you're hitting all these overs on the hits, right? Trenton had 13 hits in that first game in Dallas. If you get the Foligno missile lock going and you're really leaving a mark on these players, these skill guys for Colorado, now we know best case scenario for us is this goes 6. So it's a long series. So one of our advantages in a long series was that we would take our pound of flesh. We would be hard to play against. And so I really think those are our cards, especially with Brodin and Eck out and maybe not coming back. We'll find out. Now I go, well, you look behind you and you go, I got 7 guys in leather jackets here, and a Russian and a few Olympians. Like, well, let's go have a rumble. I mean, that's the math for me. And there's a right way to do it. It's just hitting people. It's not taking penalties. It's just every single chance. Jake Middleton, you're on the boards, throw him down with your hands after you hit him. All that heavy stuff, every bump, every bruise.
Remember the start. I'm going to tell you right now, Saturday night, people partying around St. Paul all day. It's going to be spectacular atmosphere. 29 Wild playoff games. The last 29, the team that has scored the first goal has won 28. That's a thing. You come out and you get that first goal, you get that building going, physical play starts, crowds amped up. It can be a completely different feel from what we saw.
I think they need that feel too.
They're craving it, right?
I think the players need that.
They've been great on home ice. Like, get out in the first 5 minutes and get after it. Play with reckless abandon. Play the game you need to play. I'm not saying give up 2-on-1s and trade punches without number rushes. I'm saying get out there and don't be afraid to play your game. Colorado has dictated the pace of play in the first 2 games. Now it's your turn on home ice with the matchups, with the crowd. Minnesota has to dictate the way this game goes, and that starts in the first 5-10 minutes.
I think they also need to find their urgency, not just at the start, but to start the second and to close out the second. Saw the stat; it's pretty alarming on the screen today.
45 now.
Now 45-0 and leading after 2. So they're pretty good closing it out.
Yep.
And you have to find, I think, through the middle frame, like this is when you kind of have to take this game.
This was a gauntlet, Kinger. You knew 3 months ago you're going to be out there in the playoffs taking on 2 of the best 3 or 4 teams in the league. This is the series where you get to find out where you are as a hockey team. And it sucks that they're not healthy. It's brutal that they're missing 2 of their best defensive players up front and on the back end. But here you go. Your turn at home to match up with the best team in the league. And we have 2 playoff games. We also have 4 regular season games that were extremely competitive, where each team won a couple. So they're not afraid of this hockey team. And I think Minnesota is going to play a completely different style of game on Saturday. I don't think we're going to see a lot of lineup changes. I think the only one we'll see is if Eck is able to go. I think he's going to come out there with that physical, in-your-face type of play. I think Hartman's going to be unleashed a little bit. They're going to loosen up, kind of like, hey, let's get in there a little bit. Let's bark back and forth. Let's get Colorado at least thinking about us.
Yeah, and this is clearly a different series than Dallas. It's time to put the Dallas series in the rearview mirror.
Yep.
There's not enough time now for them to try to figure out and learn how to beat Colorado. There's enough tape. There's enough there for them to figure this out, and they've got to find a way now to win game.
Can't wait.
3. Yeah,
Cannot wait for the game.
There's no more time to try to figure this out. It has.
The boys will be ready. You know this team. You know these guys. They are going to be so ready for this hockey game. I love when they play with that angry passion. And Marcus Foligno and that crew, I know one thing. They are going to come ready Saturday.
All right.
I'd even like a goalie Selly at the end of the game. I know it's playoffs, but if you're listening, Wally,
He'll bring it.
don't be afraid.
He won't be.
All right. Well, let's
All right.
get it. Saturday, join us outside Grand Casino Arena. I think it starts at 5 o'clock. We'll be on the stage. We'll be having a good time. Come join us. Filter into the rink. Great atmosphere. Great start. Win a game. 2-1 series. All right. We're here.
Till it's here.